Hey, young moviegoers, you're not going to believe this, but I'm going to let you know a little secret. Movies, matter of fact, most storytelling, going back to, say, Aristotle, used to have a first act. Okay, old guy, old screenwriter, late to the party here, but I watched Project Hail Mary last night, and I had a little thought. Lord and Miller are talented guys. I like the Guardians movies. I will say I'd be hard-pressed to spot major differences between Ryan Gosling's character in this and Chris Pratt in the Guardians. But then we don't know anything about Gosling as a character going in, which brings us back to our little first act problem. If you've seen Project Hail Mary, you know it jumps back and forth between how the story starts and how the story ends. And call me nuts, but I honestly can't see a reason to tell this story in anything other than a linear fashion, other than to appease the studio streamers or streamer studios or whatever they're called, and their utter addiction to show the exciting parts first and immediately or people will stop watching. The lack of confidence in people's ability to even grasp a slow build first act anymore is astonishing and also kind of depressing because it's no doubt statistically true according to whatever their metadata is that they're hiding. But to me it suggests a lack of confidence in either half of the movie to sufficiently entertain the audience on its own, like Hall without Oates, or worse, Oates without Hall. They're wrong in this case. The script here is otherwise fine, and I'd argue it would be better and not worse without all the constant flashbacks. And honestly, if you're that worried about keeping people tuned in, maybe trim 40 minutes from your movie? But Hollywood's become addicted to the whole, welp, I guess you're wondering how I got into this mess form of storytelling. While I get the thinking behind it, these movies kind of, to me, fundamentally misunderstand how the human brain likes to be told a story. There's a reason even young viewers keep going back to the best blockbusters of the 80s, and part of it is the sensation of being eased into the bath. Marty McFly riding his skateboard to school, the kids riding their bikes around the Poltergeist house. When I sit down to watch Poltergeist for the umpteenth time, most of my initial anticipation has nothing to do with the scary stuff and the special effects later on, but knowing I'll be enjoying the ritual of introduction all over again. Here's the neighborhood, and here are the houses, and this is the world, and these are the people, and most importantly, these are who these people were before the shit hits the fan. Steve Freeling is stubborn, Marty McFly's a slacker, Chief Brody's new on the island, and he's still feeling insecure about his outsider status. Now, Jaws does start with a big, exciting, scary part, and so does Raiders of the Lost Ark, and so does Ghostbusters, but they're contemporaneous scary parts, not flash forwards, just enough to thrill us and give us a little taste of the trouble on deck before, again, letting us settle in. Screenwriting teachers will tell you now never to start your screenplay with someone waking up in the morning or eating their breakfast or on their commute. Start with them at work or getting fired or shot or whatever else is in store for them. Don't show us who they were before they got fired or shot. What could we possibly do with that information except make reasonable assumptions about how they might respond in crisis, or even, God forbid, gives us a full enough sense of a character so that when they reach the end of their journey or adventure or arc or whatever you want to call it, we can actually track the growth in character ourselves instead of someone just telling us that they've changed through, exposition. You want to make a movie that feels like an old-fashioned blockbuster? Give us back our first acts, but more importantly, give us back people waking up, hitting snoozes, getting in cars, riding bikes, or anything at all, really, as long as it's scored to a cool tune and I can relax and get comfortable and take stock and maybe count my napkins and make sure I got enough of the popcorn counter. And now, if you'll excuse me, this screenwriter has an unsellable screenplay to finish.